Today's video, why Europeans hate living in the United States.
We are Greg and Lisa, an American couple living abroad in Spain. You're curious about the crazy, funny, and surprising differences between the US and Europe. You came to the right place. This is The World According to Briggs, I think is the name.
Yeah,
right?
We've done a video with him before. It was a controversial one because I think it was the one where what was great about America.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
How this one goes.
To the Americas en masse. That's starting to slow down. Why, you ask? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. I ran a survey asking foreigners to the US, would they want to live in the United States? If they said no, there was a follow-up question of why. I listed 50 different things that are most commonly talked about as negatives to the United States. And before you do, stop typing. Every country, every state, every small town, every village, every neighborhood has some negatives. Nothing's perfect. So this video is based on their responses. Now about the survey, I had a few answers from Africa and not many from Asia. Europe and South America gave the only decent amount of replies. Europe gave about 2,700 replies and South America gave a little over 2,100 replies. I got about 400 from Central America. So today we're looking at the European results to find out why Europeans won't move to the United States. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look.
I don't think anybody wants to move to the United States right now.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Oh, racial tensions.
Oh.
Number 10, racial tensions. Yeah, we've always had racial tensions, and really every country on the planet has racial tensions. The difference is we have ours on blast in the media every single day. Each political faction in the United States blaming the other faction for it. But the US has a complex history of racial tensions and inequality, perceived differently by Europeans who may not fully understand the social dynamics and historical context that we have here in the United States. Now, this can contribute to their concerns about discrimination and social cohesion. Side note, cohesion is one of my favorite words. One man named Gerald from Suffolk, which is in England, said he lived in Virginia for 2 years for a job. His wife is a very dark-skinned Indian, and he said she was treated very poorly. Actually, his exact phrase was, like a poor chimney sweep. Not totally sure what that is. Racial tensions got 111 votes.
Oh, wow.
Number 9, access to public transportation. Now, it's no secret that Europe has a much better public transportation system than here in the US. We've made great strides over the last couple decades, but we still lag far behind Europe, and this seems to bother them quite a bit. They aren't as obsessed with driving and owning a car as we are here in the United States. The United States is a car culture. They do make some amazing automobiles in Europe, they're just not on board with it as much as we are. But European cities often have well-developed public transportation system, making car ownership optional for many residents, where we basically rely on it. There are a few cities in the United States where they have decent public transportation, and
few as in very few.
Yeah.
You know, probably less than 10.
you could pretty much live there without owning a car. New York City's a perfect example. Portland is pretty good in that respect. Same thing with Chicago. Seattle has a solid public transportation system. One man said Ireland's public transportation is better than the United States, and Ireland's is shit. Access to public transportation got 112 votes.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Number 8, the IRS. Yeah, believe it or not, the IRS was a big complaint by foreigners, and they had a lot to say about it. This one, I think, got the most comments out of all of them. Obviously, it didn't get the most votes. Here it is at number 8 instead of number 1, but the comments were definitely against the IRS and our tax system. A lot of the countries said that they don't have to file taxes. It's taken out of their checks automatically, and they're...
What? That's like earth-shattering.
That other countries were saying
Some countries said they don't have to file taxes. It just gets taken out of their check automatically.
Oh, it's not that way in Spain.
No, it's not. It's not that way in America, obviously.
I wonder where.
I don't know.
There's no, tax day in their country. But a lot of them mentioned how much paperwork there was, and it was mind-blowing. One person said, and I kind of looked it up, and I found some facts about it, or just some things to support it, but it said the IRS is so much of a pain that American citizens are often denied banking facilities in Asia. Now, don't hold me to that. That's just what one person said. I saw a couple things online about it.
Maybe because they're worried about tax evasion or something. that you're opening
Oh.
an overseas account or something. Yeah.
I don't know much about that one, but I thought that was strange. If anyone has more information on it, let me know in the comment section below. I mean, everyone in the United States hates the IRS, but now Europeans are hating it too. One man said, I haven't been to the US in 15 years. When I think about the 3 times I had to fill out tax forms, he called it the Americas, he said I get pissed. Taxes and the IRS got 127 votes.
Oh, wow. Work-life balance, yeah.
Number 7, work-life balance. I also put free time on there because a lot of people don't understand it as work-life balance in other countries. They call it their free time or their vacation time, different things like that. Anyway, many European countries prioritize work-life balance with shorter work hours, generous vacation time, and strong labor protections. In contrast, the United States is known for longer work hours, fewer vacation days, and a culture that often prioritizes work over personal time. And that's true to a degree. I mean, all of us know that we have a pretty crappy work-life balance here in the United States. Now, there are other countries, especially in Asia, that are far worse than us here in the US, but they're comparing Europe to the United States, not Asia. So that's where a lot of these responses came from. One man said, my wife made us come back to Switzerland because she said she started to forget what I look like. One lady, I'm assuming she was late.
I can see how it's just like shocking.
Yeah.
To, your entire lifestyle. It's shocking. That part.
Yeah.
Is just overwhelming, where it's true. You don't see your family members. You're just constantly working. The people around you are talking about work all of a sudden. And that's a typical culture shock.
Yeah.
Lady, but she said, 1 week I saw the Uber Eats guy more than my boyfriend. So we came back to London. Work-life balance or free time got 130 votes.
Oh, wow. I thought that was interesting. She said she went back to London because I don't know. I guess I thought London was similar to America in terms of the work-life balance. That obviously that's not, well, based on what he's saying, that's not true.
But yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Number
Healthcare
6,
system.
the
Yeah.
healthcare
Oh,
system.
God.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Number
bad
1.
that used car lots have a better reputation than the healthcare system here in the United States. Everybody knows if you go to a hospital or you have a doctor's appointment, you're going to get ripped off. At a used car lot, 50-50 chance you're getting ripped off. One man said while living in Miami, he was playing a soccer game, or football, he said, and he blew out his knee. He could walk, but it needed to be operated on. And he said it was far cheaper to fly back to the UK, rent an Airbnb, get surgery, recover for 3 days in an Airbnb, and fly back to the US. On a personal note, not in the survey, but I knew a girl that she was a San Diego sheriff. I went to school with her. She's retired now, but her father was older. He was actually a Los Angeles County sheriff. His medication as he got older was so expensive, she actually sold their house down there and she quit her job and moved up to Washington so she could go across the border into Canada and get his medication for 1/10 the price. I had a long conversation with her about it. It was sad. This was a handful of years back when it was next to impossible to have your...
It is sad and it's annoying because the drugs cost the same.
Right.
So I work in the healthcare field and I talk to people. Well, they're like, I'm not paying that money. I'm just my doctor gave me somebody that I could go to across the border to get some prescription. It's the same prescription.
Exactly. Same medication.
Oh, God.
Conversation with her about it. It was sad. This was a handful of years back when it was next to impossible to have your medication sent from Canada to here in the United States. This one, though, should be no surprise to any American. We all know that our healthcare system is crazy expensive and complicated. It's good. And you get good results, but it's too expensive for most Americans to actually afford. And the Europeans know this, and it kind of stops a lot of them from coming here. In 2022, they did a study where they figured out the per capita healthcare expenditure by developed countries. Down towards the bottom, you had Mexico with about $1,100 a year, Brazil, $1,500 a year. You get up to Poland, it's about $2,900 a year. Spain was $4,400 a year. Korea is about $4,500 a year. UK is about $5,400 a year. Denmark, you get all the way up into $6,270 a year. Australia's $6,596. Switzerland is $8,000. The US is the absolute most expensive, $12,555. That's per capita healthcare expenditure. A lot of the countries well below us have better results than we do here in the United States when it comes to our healthcare. Healthcare got 132 votes.
Wow. Wow.
I'm surprised it wasn't number one.
I know. Oh, education costs.
Number
yeah.
5,
Oh,
education costs. Yeah, a lot of countries in Europe, the education's really inexpensive when you compare it to the United States. Now, if you just look at public colleges, it's about $8,000 here in the United States on average. If you include
What college is he's going to? $8,000.
Like
Oh,
community college?
maybe something.
Yeah.
Somebody's homeschool.
the
Yeah,
private
a real
colleges,
college? No.
No,
A state or university? No.
no, not for 8,000.
it's about $8,000 here in the United States on average. If you include the private colleges, it gets up to about $14,000. The United Kingdom is really
This
close
has
to
to
what
be
we got
old.
going on.
Okay, I'll
Because
just say this. I know the
that's
school
not-
that we went to when we were in school, which is
Mhm.
a little while ago. It was like 20,000 a
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
Now that same school is probably upwards of 55,000 a year.
Yeah. It was 30 years ago and it
Yeah.
was 18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On in the United States as far as cost goes. But other developed countries, it's a different story. Take a look at Japan, $5,228 a year. Canada's a little bit lower than that with $4,900 a year. You go to Australia, $4,700 a year. The Netherlands is $2,400 a year. Switzerland, $1,100 a year. France,
Wow.
$217.
Wow.
Germany, it's all free. No tuition. That's not even counting like your housing and all that stuff. One guy from Poland said he'd looked into coming to the United States, but it was far too expensive. I think he should have come to the United States because he had like 5 misspelled words. I don't know what's going on in the Poland school system, but
He didn't have to say that.
Why say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even know what to say.
I know, because
Yeah.
that's not fair. It's
That's not
probably
fair.
not his first language. And
Yeah.
so
Jeez. He's trying to be funny.
he's trying to be
It
funny.
didn't work.
never has 2 E's in it. 140 people voted for education cost.
140.
Oh.
Oh, God. What in the world is number one?
No,
He keep
I
putting
know.
all the good ones up here. I'm like, that got to be number one.
Oh, I know what number one is. I bet you. Guns.
You want to guess?
Guns.
Mhm.
Number 4, political climate. Yes, it's not just a nightmare here in the United States. Our political climate is known throughout the world as a total mess right now. We have Americans at each other's throats over politics, which should not be a thing. Each side of the political spectrum, the politicians are convincing their people that the other side is trying to destroy the country. We've always had a little friction between the parties when it comes to politics here in the United States, but nothing like what's going on to this day. It's actually ridiculous. I don't care what political party you're from, watch the news and you'll notice, like, let's say the same congressman, a handful of congressmen will get on media outlet, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a radio show, whether it's a cable news channel, or make a YouTube video. They have like the phrase of the week and they use it and they say it over and over and over until
Yeah.
you start saying it. And it's both parties. Both parties will do this. And it creates friction because basically they're telling you what to think. When they're all saying it at the same time, you start to take it as fact. And it's just something they do. They get together and they come up with the phrase of the week. And like I said, both parties do it. No one's immune.
That's true. They do
Yeah.
that on the Sunday talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch News in America on Sunday, you can see what the talking point is going to be for the week.
Oh, interesting.
Every Sunday they do that.
That's why so many people, when news, mostly comedy shows like The Daily Show, they're interviewing other people out in the streets. They'll say a talking point, and when they ask why do you say that, they don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just know the talking point.
Yeah, I just heard it.
Mhm.
They researched it.
Mhm. They researched it. Yeah.
Watch, next time there's some kind of issue with the other party, whichever, one you follow, and all of a sudden the other party has an issue, you'll see the politicians from whatever side you're on say the same thing over and over and over for about a week or two. But the perceived political polarization and instability in the US, especially in recent years, may make Europeans wary of moving to a country with a political tension as high as we have here in the United States. The parties are so different from each other now, policies can fluctuate dramatically with the change of an administration. That scares a lot of people,
Yeah,
especially
we
if you're
know
not
that
from here and you
now.
realize it's just all a bunch of talk for the most part. Political climate got 144 votes.
Uh-oh.
No immigration policies.
Number 3,
good ones.
immigration policies. Now, this one's going to seem a little strange, especially what we hear on the news these days about people just flooding in across the southern border and all that stuff. But this is more to do with the process of people trying to get in here legally. Changes in immigration policies, such as restrictions on visa programs and pathways to citizenships, may create uncertainty and make it more difficult for Europeans to navigate the immigration process. The amount of paperwork that's involved in this is insane. Now, it's pretty much that way for a lot of countries. I mean, no one's just got, fill out your name and your address and you're a citizen. There's always some hoops to go through in every country, but the United States, it's a little hard to navigate. I heard Canada's really hard to navigate too, but that'll keep a lot of people away. Especially what we got going on in this country right now. There's going to be policy changes left and right for the next few years, I guarantee.
Yeah.
210 people voted for immigration policies.
Language barrier.
Oh.
Number 2, language barriers. While
Oh.
English is
For other countries.
Oh, them coming to America.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all we speak is English.
Right.
So they're like,
So it's-
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 2, language barriers. While English is widely spoken in the US, Europeans may still face challenges with accents, dialects, and language nuances that differ from what they're accustomed to, which could create communication barriers and feelings of isolation. Now, this is a big thing. We have some pretty serious shifts with the way we speak from state to state. South is very different from what you got going on in California. You could come here from Germany and go end up in a small town in Mississippi. They might actually look at someone from Mississippi and go, is this dude speaking English?
That's
What is
true.
going on
Yeah.
here? Now, most Europeans do speak English. I shouldn't say most, but a higher rate than Americans speak other languages. So we do have a pretty serious language barrier for a lot of different people, and the dialects play a big part. I mean, I'm from California. I'm from a beach community, and some of the things I say on this channel, English-speaking people ask me what I'm talking about sometimes. But this one got more votes than I really thought it would. I mean, I didn't think this was much of a big deal, but it showed up at number 2 with 325 votes.
And I think the other problem is a lot of Americans aren't sympathetic to those that don't speak English.
Right.
So that's the other problem. They know that they're just not going to be met with, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let me help you. We'll, sign it through or whatever.
Yeah, they won't get support like that.
Mhm.
All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget, we have another channel called The Sweet Life for Briggs. It's about travel and cruises and stuff like that. There's a link for that down below. All right, on to number 1.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
You're right.
It
sucks.
Number 1, crime and gun violence. Yes, this is the biggest one. While gun ownership is common in some European countries, the prevalence of firearms
really?
and high rates of gun violence in the U.S., along with relatively relaxed gun laws in some states, can be alarming to a lot of Europeans who are not accustomed to this type of culture. Now,
One state for sure is Texas.
Yep.
I don't even know they have gun laws there. They might give you a ticket or arrest you if you don't have a gun.
I'm not taking a stance on either side. I own firearms. I was in the military. But we're talking about people from other countries coming to this country. And it is alarming to a lot of them, especially when they see the high rate of shootings we have and how often firearms are used in crimes. One guy said, in America, you go to get a pint and you may never see home again. I was like, that's kind of rough. Go to get a beer and someone's going to shoot you. I'm sure it happens, but it's not like an hourly occurrence here in the United States. But yeah, compared to a lot of other countries.
I think that's the problem, that attitude right there.
What he just said?
It's not that big of a deal. I think it was just Americans are just so used to it and so numb to it. But it is a problem.
It is a problem.
We've said that in another video where there's, people think that we're dumb. A lot of Americans think that we're dumb and over-exaggerating because we're like, we think about it. We're not constantly living in fear, but we think about it.
Right. Well, like I remember last year when we came to Spain, there was a parade downtown and there was a little kid with a toy gun.
Right.
And in America, if your kid has a toy gun, like you are pulling them aside, telling them, don't you ever have a toy gun, because in America, they don't know if it's a real gun or not.
Right.
And so you would never see that, especially not at a parade. And the other thing at the parade is that we just didn't feel, when there's groups of people in America, you better be ready because something's going to be going down at any moment. So I don't know. That's just our experience, and a lot of our friends too. So,
So I think underplaying it like you did wasn't.
yeah, that's
wasn't
how it
really
is.
fair.
That's why it'll never get fixed
Exactly.
because somebody always has to say, "That's how it is in America. I gotta protect my house."
And that's what, right. And that's why Europeans don't want to come, because it's like, well, there's too many Americans that think like that.
Yeah. So, okay. Well,
sorry,
enough of that.
Mr.
Sorry, just got a little carried away there. All right. Well, I mean, that was a good video.
Is it over?
Yeah. So, I mean, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on. Is it?
Countries, we have a ton of gun violence and a lot of crimes. I mean, no place is immune from crimes. We just have ours on blast in the media and online and everything else like that. So it's really the perception that they have. How close it is to the reality of the situation, who knows? But we're talking about what they think. And they think the entire country is Southside Chicago, without really thick pizza. Gun violence got 443 votes. That's a lot.
I don't know. They're valid to think that. I think that's
Yeah.
not fair to say that people.
He
think
just says that's
that-
what they think.
Yeah, the Europeans are.
As if it doesn't happen.
Yeah. No.
I mean, hello, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like people get shot. I had a friend in high school who got shot.
Mm-hmm.
First day of school, shot and killed. So it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, we're
Yeah,
getting
that was
fired
number
up.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
right.
Okay. I'm like, well, shoot, I'm mad. I want to talk some more about this. All right. Well, that was a good video.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad he didn't go crazy like he did last time and kind of bashing Europe. So
Yeah.
that this is much better.
It is much better.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you on the next video.
Bye.
Peace.